Is this the biggest cut you've had for any of your fights so far?
Yeah, it's the biggest cut I've had. It's the biggest cut for sure. But again, I think that I'm always looking to adjust things and make sure that I'm each camp and each training cycle improving and getting better. And I felt like the size was something that's good for me.
All right, everybody, let us say hello to Bo Nickal. Big fight coming up on Saturday, UFC Des Moines, co-main event against Reinier de Ridder. Bo, good to see you, man. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Main event is great between Corey Sandhagen and Davis Figueiredo, but it seems, at least to me, there's a lot of excitement for your fight, maybe even more so than the main event itself. Are you noticing that as well days before this fight?
Definitely. Yeah, there's a ton of excitement. I think that for me, I'm excited about the whole card. But yeah, to be on this card in Iowa, UFC Des Moines is something I'm really grateful for. And it's a big opportunity for me. So I'm ready to go.
You're coming off the win at MSG against Paul Craig, and you've taken a little bit of flack from that victory from a lot of the fans. And in fact, Reiner's been kind of using this to promote the fight in some interviews, saying that he himself has gotten more support from fans heading into this fight than any fight he's had in his entire career, saying people just don't seem to like you too much. Your thoughts on that? And does that mean you're doing things right, Bo?
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel like people don't like me. I feel like I'm getting tons of support, and for me, that's really something that is irrelevant to my training and my situation and how I fight and what I bring to the table physically, mentally. So, I look to go compete from the first belt to the last, and it'll be fun regardless of what the fans are saying or who's cheering for who. That's something that is no big deal to me. Growing up in wrestling and wrestling the Big Ten and NCAA schedule, of course, I'm competing at University of Iowa. I'm competing at Ohio State, Oklahoma State, running into all these crowds that are, obviously not super partial to me. So that's n nothing I'm not used to, and really, it's all fun. I love to compete regardless.
Were you surprised that Reinier was the opponent?
No, not at all. He's a guy I asked for. He's a name that I gave the UFC, so that was exciting for me to get it matched up. And yeah, he's a guy I respect a lot. I think he's a tough fighter and definitely has a lot of experience and has beaten a lot of the best guys in the world. So I'm looking forward to the fight.
You've gotten a bit more attention this week because of your social media game. You had a fight week weight post, stepped on the scale at 222.6 pounds, I believe, which means you have over 30 pounds to cut. And obviously you had a hoodie on and such. So we'll round it out at 30 pounds. Is that real, or is this just incredible gamesmanship from you?
No, a big part of my last camp these last few months has been to bulk up. I felt like that's something that I wanted to focus on was getting my weight a little higher and making sure that I'm a full size middleweight. So, um, coming in at the weight, it's just part of the job for me. Bringing the weight down is something that I'm used to. It's with wrestling, I've weighed in hundreds of times since I've been at a young age, and it's business as usual for me. So that was definitely a little more than what I'm used to, but part of the job. No worries.
We because the video cuts off, you see the weight, and you just like, we're like, whoa, it's gonna be a long week. But what were like the next 30 seconds like for you?
It was a little heavier than what I expected, and as you mentioned, I was wearing a hoodie and stuff like that, so it was a little less than what we saw on the scale. But yeah, I knew I had a lot of work to do at that moment. But
Is this
again, part of the job.
is this the biggest cut you've had for any of your fights so far?
Yeah, it's the biggest cut I've had. It's the biggest cut for sure. But again, I think that I'm always looking to adjust things and make sure that I'm each camp and each training cycle improving and getting better. And I felt like the size was something that's good for me.
Fair enough. Last thing about the weight. Did you weigh yourself today? It's Wednesday. As we get closer to this fight, did you weigh yourself today? And if so, how much did you weigh?
Let's just say I'm a little lighter than what I was earlier this week.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm not. I'm no longer at that weight.
Fair enough. As far as Saturday goes, Reinier's had some fun with this saying, everyone just wants to see us grapple. Nobody wants to see us strike. And I'm sure you're okay with whatever happens on Saturday, but Do you think it actually plays out that way, or will the grappling chops sort of negate themselves here, and we will actually see you guys trade on the feet for the majority of this fight?
I think he's saying that because he doesn't want to get knocked out. So, that's kind of my view of it. I think he knows that I'm a better striker than him, that I hit hard. And not to say he doesn't have skills, because he absolutely does. And there's a lot of things that he does really well on the feet, but I think I have an advantage there. And so wherever the fight goes, I'll be ready to compete. And, again, if it goes to the ground, which, I'm definitely, I would hope it does, because I think we're both very talented there, that we'll get to see some exciting scrambles. And yeah, but like I said, regardless of where it goes, I'll be prepared.
Not sure if at this point you're in the prediction game. You've been doing the combat sports thing forever at this point, but how does this all go down? What are the headlines going to read on Saturday?
I expect to win this fight. I don't know if it'll be a finish or if it'll be a decision. Regardless of the result, I'm focused on giving 100% effort from the first bell to the last. And really, that's all I can control, right? I can't control my opponent. I can't control anything else. Can't control the crowd. Can't control the ref. All I can control is me. So, the only thing I can go do is come to this opportunity with a lot of gratitude and maximum effort.
Ever since you got into the UFC, there's been nothing but talk about someday we're going to see Bo Nickal fight Hamzat Chimaev, right? And, Bo Nickal's going to fight for a title at some point. And it doesn't feel like you're in a big rush to get there at this point, but a win here puts you in the rankings, puts you in a very interesting spot. So I don't know how much further you're looking past Saturday. I'm sure there's a part of your mind that's kind of equating all of this. What kind of challenges sort of await you from there? Are we thinking the Brendan Allens, the Roman Delidzes, the Anthony Hernandezes of the world, or could we be talking the Cannoniers, even the Whitakers, the Adesanyas of the division?
My focus has always been just to continue to get better and better and improve every single fight and fight better guys, right? Like, I want to be the world champion and the best fighter in the world. So, with that, it comes stepping up in competition every single fight. And after this fight, we'll make a step up. I'm focused 100% on De Ridder right now. So, the next fight is not in my mind at all. But I want to fight better guys, right? So, we see De Ridder at 13. We'll continue to move up the rankings accordingly after this one.
Last thing I want to ask you about, one of your teammates, Dustin Poirier, his retirement fight is set. He's fighting Max Holloway for the BMF title, UFC 318 in New Orleans. Massive deal. I love the fight. I wanted to get your reaction to that and see if you had a favorite Dustin Poirier moment, whether it's from one of his fights or in the training room or even you guys just hanging out outside of it.
Yeah, no, super pumped for the fight. I think it's two guys that are unbelievable competitors and guys I respect a lot. And it's a fitting fight for him, to end his career, especially in New Orleans in Louisiana. It's going to be an amazing moment. Um, as far as favorite moments go, you gotta love his fight with Dan Hooker. Of course, everybody's going to bring that one up. It's an unbelievable fight. I think that for me, something that I'll say, his fight with Jim Miller was one that I really loved. Just kind of seeing him battle through adversity. He got kicked in the leg a bunch of times and able to fight through that and end up, coming out on top. That's a fight that I think that was unbelievable. And he's a guy that just exudes toughness and grit and belief. And, he goes in there with his whole heart on his sleeve. So we'll miss him, but he's had an amazing career and he's given a lot to the sport.
Well said. And we're looking forward to seeing you get back in that octagon this Saturday. Co-main event, UFC Des Moines against Reinier de Ridder. Bo Nickal, everybody. Thank you so much for your time, man. All the best this week and all the best on the scale on Friday and in the fight on Saturday, my man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.